What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Wrasslin for Life Network, and welcome back to another edition of the TNA Impact Review. We have a lot to talk about today. Victory Road was this past Friday. We had Jordan Grace defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship against NXT's Wendy Chu. Zachary Wentz defended the X Division Championship against Mike Bailey. The TNA World Championship was on the line. Nick Nemeth defending against Moose, and we had the big showdown between Josh Alexander and Joe Hendry. We have a lot to talk about today, so let's get into it. Again, welcome back to the Wrasslin for Life Network, and welcome back to another edition of the TNA Impact Review. I am your host, Ringsider Anthony, and like I said, there's a lot to talk about today. Victory Road was amazing. Victory Road from top to bottom was an amazing card for TNA Wrestling. The pre-show was great. We had Leon Slater versus Kushida and a banger X Division style match in TNA. They both killed it. And then we had Steve Macklin teaming up with Eric Young to take on Alex Hammerstone and Jake Something, a team that I didn't think would work together, Jake Something and Alex Hammerstone. And they did work together, with Alex Hammerstone and Jake Something picking up the victory. A phenomenal pre-show that opened up Victory Road. I was impressed all around. And then we had the main show kickoff with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy versus First Class. When I tell you, if you have not watched Victory Road, you need to go and watch it, because Victory Road delivered from the countdown show all the way to the main event. Everything was exceptional at Victory Road. So like I said, we kicked off Victory Road with Matt and Jeff Hardy versus First Class. And this was a phenomenal match by both teams, Matt and Jeff Hardy and Casey Navarro and AJ Francis. All parties delivered in this match, and you can tell both teams want the TNA World Tag Team Championships. And this was not a number one contendership match. I feel like it should have been, but both teams really want the tag team titles. And I think this match was proving ground for that tag team, whoever won, to get to the TNA World Tag Team Championships. And the team that won, no surprise, was Matt and Jeff Hardy. They deserve this victory. They've been doing some great things in TNA since they returned to the company. So I don't know what's happening here, because we'll get to the tag team title picture in just a second. But I'm thinking Matt and Jeff Hardy eventually push to that moment where they get their tag team title match. I don't know if it's at Bound for Glory, but yeah, Matt and Jeff Hardy won this match. I'm super excited to see them continue to grow in TNA wrestling, and hopefully they capture TNA World Tag Team Championship gold very soon. The TNA X Division Championship was on the line at Victory Road. Zachary Wentz, the new champion, defending against Speedball Mike Bailey, the former champion who had just won at Slammiversary. And this match easily what is a match of the year candidate in TNA wrestling. Both men delivered. This match was going so fast that at some points I wasn't even catching what they were dropping in the middle of that ring. Both men delivered. And surprisingly, I didn't think Zachary Wentz was going to win the title at Emergence in the Ultimate X match. I really thought Mike Bailey was going to retain, because he had just won it at Slammiversary against Mustafa Ali. But a couple of days later, Zachary Wentz was able to walk on WWE television, NXT No Mercy, as the X Division champion, giving TNA a little bit more exposure on WWE television. And I feel like that's why TNA did it. But that is how we kind of got to this match at Victory Road. Mike Bailey wanted his rematch. He got his rematch. He called his shot, and now he is a 3-time X Division champion in TNA wrestling. Kudos to both men in this match. They delivered, and I hope TNA runs this match back again, because yeah, If you haven't seen Victory Road, if you haven't seen this match, you at least need to see this one because they delivered on every sense of the word, every sense of the meaning of delivered. Go check out Zachary Wentz versus Mike Bailey. Spitfire did it. Spitfire finally did it. They are the new TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. If they did not win this match against, it was supposed to be Militia, Masha Slamovich, and Alicia Edwards, but Alicia Edwards was unable to compete. So if they did not win this match against Masha Slamovich and Tasha Steelz, Spitfire had to disband as a tag team. This another phenomenal match from Victory Road. Both teams delivered. Tasha Steelz and Masha Slamovich work very well together as a tag team. We already know Spitfire works well as a tag team as well. I am so happy that Spitfire was able to capture those TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships. They have been pushing and pushing to get those titles back after they lost it earlier this year, and I think they deserve this moment. So it was great to see them win this match. And then after the match, Tasha Steelz actually turned on Masha Slamovich. So it seems like Masha Slamovich is out with Alicia Edwards and Tasha Steelz is in with Alicia Edwards. I don't know where we go from here with Masha, Tasha, and Alicia. I don't know if we're setting up Tasha versus Masha at Bound for Glory. I don't know if we're setting up for Jordan Grace versus Masha at Bound for Glory. I feel like we're going the Rosemary route, but a lot of stuff is happening in the knockouts division. We got new knockouts coming in. It's going to be an interesting time in the TNA knockouts division. Again, congratulations to Spitfire becoming the new TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions. I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong. I thought Josh Alexander was going to beat Joe Hendry at Victory Road. I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Joe Hendry beat Josh Alexander at Victory Road, and what I can say was a great match, a solid match by both of them. Josh Alexander, one of the best in the ring. Joe Hendry, the most over superstar in all of professional wrestling. I really thought they were just going to linger this story out, potentially to Bound for Glory, where we got a rematch if Josh Alexander won, but they gave it to Joe Hendry, and I am not upset because Joe Hendry is one of the best right now in the world, one of the most over superstars in the world. He is doing his thing in professional wrestling, and I love that. Josh Alexander doesn't have to prove himself. He has proven himself time and time again. This is just Josh Alexander's way of working in TNA wrestling. He brings the best out of people. And second thing is, when it comes to Joe Hendry, a lot of people say Joe Hendry is just a meme. Joe Hendry is just a song. Joe Hendry is just a singer. No, Joe Hendry can wrestle as well. And if you did not watch Victory Road, you did not see Joe Hendry in that ring. When the bell rings, Joe Hendry goes. And that's exactly what happened at Victory Road. Joe Hendry rose to the occasion like he always does. A phenomenal match won by Joe Hendry. The stigma of Joe Hendry just being a song, just being a meme needs to go away because Joe Hendry delivers every time he is in that ring. That's why he's main evented NXT. That's why he's main evented countless episodes of TNA wrestling, because they believe and we believe in Joe Hendry. Another match from Victory Road you got to go see. Joe Hendry and Josh Alexander delivered, and that is literally one of my favorite matches from Victory Road. So Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards are the new TNA World Tag Team Champions. I was not expecting that. I thought ABC was going to win. ABC defended the TNA World Tag Team Championships against the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards. And I really thought this was going to go ABC's way. Before we get to that, I just want to say that both teams have very good chemistry and they always deliver in that ring. And this was no different. A phenomenal match. And I'm probably going to say that for all of the matches at Victory Road. Every match delivered, every match was phenomenal. I enjoyed every aspect of Victory Road from top to bottom. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, that Victory Road is a must-see pay-per-view or monthly special from TNA. But y'all, The system capturing the tag team championships again was not on my bingo card. I really thought the system was going to kind of not fade away, but start the dissension in the group. But it seems like the system is trying to have a reboot. They're trying to do a system reboot. They want those titles back, and all of the members want their titles back. And this may be a start, but we still have Moose and the World Championship and Nick Nemeth to talk about a little bit later. But this begs the question now at Bound for Glory. And I like the fantasy book, but I also don't like the fantasy book at the same time because I kind of just want to see how things play out and enjoy the ride and enjoy what TNA is bringing to us. And not just TNA, WWE, AEW, whatever the wrestling company is. But it begs the question, do we get a rematch with ABC versus the system at Bound for Glory, or do we get the Hardys versus the system at Bound for Glory, or do we get a triple threat tag team match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships at Bound for Glory? I don't know, but I'm really shocked that ABC lost. Like, I'm lost for words. Like, there's not much I can say because I really was banking on ABC to retain the titles. The system getting the titles back was not nowhere near in my mind. I didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. And now I'm ready and interested to see how this plays out as we head to Bound for Glory. And I'm excited because I get to see the entire Bound for Glory build up because I will be at the tapings in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So this is one of the things I'll be glued on when I'm there to see what happens with the system as we head to Bound for Glory and what happens with the tag team division and the tag team matches that go down at Bound for Glory. The TNA Knockouts World Championship was on the line. It was Jordan Grace defending against NXT's Wendy Chu. And Wendy Chu has been in a partnership really with Rosemary over the past couple of weeks. At NXT this past week, Jordan Grace had an open challenge for her TNA Knockouts World Championship that was answered by a Miss Sol Ruka. And I just want to say before we continue here that I feel like Sol Ruka might have been the best opponent yet that came out of NXT for Jordan Grace because they delivered in that match. But at the ending of that match, it was interrupted by Rosemary and Wendy Chu. And I believe Wendy Chu choked out Jordan Grace. That has what led to this match at Victory Road with Jordan Grace defending against Wendy Chu. And yet again, Jordan Grace brings out the best in people. She brings out the best in her opponents. I have seen her do it on countless occasions. I've seen her do it with Giselle Shaw, Trinity, Tasha Steeles, Ash by Elegance, just to name a few. And she did the same thing with Wendy Chu. I think that was one of the best matches I've ever seen Wendy Chu in with Jordan Grace. Wendy Chu brought out some big moves, some high spots. It was great all around, and I'm so happy that Wendy Chu got her moment in TNA, not in NXT, but in TNA. And I really feel like Wendy Chu fits right in that TNA mode, and I hope to see more of Wendy Chu and Rosemary. But this was a phenomenal match. I'm excited. And then after this match, again, she was attacked. She was attacked by Rosemary. She was attacked by Wendy Chu after the loss, after Wendy Chu lost. So I don't know where we're headed here. I think we're headed to Rosemary versus Jordan Grace at Bound for Glory. I would love to see it. I think Rosemary is a good challenger. I don't know if she's the one to dethrone Jordan Grace, but if she is, I would not be upset because I feel like Rosemary has had an amazing career in TNA, and I really want her to have that world title as well. I think Rosemary deserves it. So if we get Grace versus Rosemary at Bound for Glory, I'm here for it. Give it to me. But yeah, Jordan Grace did defeat Wendy Chu at Victory Road in a phenomenal match. And I'm about to say it again. If you haven't watched Victory Road, you need to go watch Nick Nemeth versus Moose for the TNA World Championship because what? It was a phenomenal match. Like I said, every match at Victory Road delivered, and this was no different. What a main event. What a main event. Moose, one of the best out there. Nick Nemeth showing what he can do in a TNA wrestling ring. The system coming out to try to help Moose not retain, Moose winning the title once again. And then Nick Nemeth having some surprising help from John Bradshaw Layfield, JBL. JBL came out of nowhere and took out everybody in the system, with the exception of Moose because he was in the ring, and the exception of Alicia Edwards. But he took out Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, JDC. He took out the entirety of the system, which helped Nick Nemeth retain the TNA World Championship. What are we doing, JBL? What are we doing in TNA? What are we doing? Because I'm confused, but I'm excited to see. Are you aligning yourself with Nick Nemeth? I need to know. I need all the answers because let me tell you, it was exciting to see JBL at Emergence. I thought it was one off. Really, I was like, we're not gonna see JBL again in TNA. And then 2 weeks later at Victory Road, who do we see? We see JBL. And I thought it was just crazy to see JBL. I know JBL is doing some type of indie tour. I don't know. He's just popping up everywhere, but popping up in TNA is just something I didn't expect from JBL. But again, I said it at the beginning of this match that you need to go see it. You need to go see Nick Nemeth versus Moose. Nick Nemeth is doing a phenomenal job in TNA wrestling. Moose has the longest contract in TNA wrestling history because he is very good at what he does in that ring. Phenomenal match by both men. I'm super excited to see where this goes. Who is Nick Nemeth's next challenger? I do believe Moose will be going after Mike Santana because Mike Santana did get involved in this match trying to stop Moose from cheating. But yeah, whatever happens next, I'm here for it. Bound for Glory, nothing has been announced, but there's a lot of matches that could happen, and I'm super excited for it. But keep your eye on Nick Nemeth and keep your eye on Moose. Before I leave you guys today, I do want to point out some TNA wrestling news and some NXT news as well. So it seems like Zachary Wentz will be facing Wesley on the first edition of NXT on the CW in a street fight. I'm excited to see that. TNA has still been promoting Zia Lee joining the TNA Knockouts division. She will be a great addition to the TNA Knockouts division as we continue to grow this division. Heather Reckless, who is the newest signee to the Knockouts division, somewhat has aligned herself with Ash by Elegance. That is something I kind of want to see as well. This would be great. And then lastly, some big news really concerning WWE, NXT, and maybe they show up on TNA because they have so much history with TNA. But it seems like the Motor City Machine Guns have officially signed with WWE. Now, I know that's all speculation, what we've seen online. So, it's that we have to wait to see if this actually happens. But it seems like the Motor City Machine Guns have signed with WWE and will be appearing on the NXT brand, which is exciting to see because if they're on the NXT brand, that means they can make their way back to TNA wrestling, where it all started for those two, really two big TNA originals headed to WWE. All right, guys, that is the end of the TNA Impact review this week. Even though we didn't cover much of Impact, we actually covered all of Victory Road, something I kind of wanted to do because Victory Road for me was a 9 out of 10 pay-per-view monthly special for TNA. But that is the end of the TNA Impact review. Not sure if we'll have one next week because on the channel we will be live reacting to TNA coming up this week to the fallout of Victory Road. So check us out on Thursday at 8 as we live react to the newest edition of TNA Impact. It'll be me and Nick, and I'm super excited for it because TNA is where it is at the moment in professional wrestling. If you are watching this on YouTube, I thank you. If you are listening on any of the podcasting platforms, I thank you as well. And I will see you in the next one.